Sound off.
Rated T14.
Does young people even need a voice in this community? What can the community expect from this show?
I am my brother's keeper. We got to be responsible for each other.
It's okay to be different. Building stronger communities by helping the rest of our community really make it and achieve their dreams.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go!
Hey! What's up? Yeah!
Good morning, Horry and Georgetown counties. Welcome to Sound Off. I'm your host, Claudine Lance Schofield, and it is our goal each week to deal with topics that are relevant to our youth. Sound Off is totally designed with our youth in mind, and we invite you to join us, get involved. We plan to have a lot of fun, yet we plan to inform and empower. So on that note, I would like to introduce you to our very intelligent group of young people that are joining us this morning in the studio.
My name is Javante Sarvis. My major is exercise and sports science at Coastal Carolina University.
My name is Brittany Hughes. I go to Orange Georgetown Tech and I major in radiology.
My name is Brianna Evans and my major is communications at the College of Charleston.
My name is Angelica. I am a sophomore at Gaston College and I plan to transfer to UNC Charlotte majoring sports medicine.
My name is Antonio Stewart. I major in architectural engineering. I go to Coastal Carolina and or Georgetown Technical College.
And my name is Ruby Rodriguez and I just graduated from Conway High School this year, so I'll bring a different view to the table.
What we want to talk about on this morning, our topic, a lot of times we take for granted the fact that our young people will be going away to college. And as a parent of a soon-to-be freshman at Francis Marion University, I guess I bring, and as an educator, I guess I bring two different perspectives. But what we want to talk about on this morning is talking about the transition from high school to college. And the best way I feel is to do that by talking to young people that have had the experience or having the experience. So on that note, I want to begin with my good friend Bree Bree. Bree Bree, I understand that you do attend the College of Charleston. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, Brianna, I think I'll put you on the spot. Let's talk about the fact that, sometimes we do take for granted when you make that transition from high school to college. It's just that, a transition. And I think a lot of times we don't really, as college students, and I think especially for me, it'll be helpful as a parent. Tell us the hardest thing, if you had to tell the listening audience, the hardest thing for you going from high school, now being this freshman on this fairly large college campus. So talk about your transition as it relates to you going from now being a sophomore, but what was it like as a freshman on campus?
The biggest adjustment going to the College of Charleston, seeing that it's a predominantly white school, is just finding people that you can identify with on the campus. Because when you go somewhere new for the first time, you look for people who look like you or act like you. And when you can't find that, it's hard for you to actually go out and be around because, in college, they try to have activities for you to do to get you out and to get you into the field of being in college for the first time. But you don't want to go alone because you won't have any fun, and then you'll just go to class and go back to your room. And then the majority of the time, you just end up going back home because you know people there.
But you know what? Would you say, Brianna, that going to a predominantly white college, or even if somebody goes to, it doesn't matter, a balance, what do you think in the long run that'll do for you in terms of making sure that you're able to interact with people of all races, of all economical background? Do you understand what I'm saying? Is that?
Yeah. I think it is beneficial to get to know people from different nationalities because in the end, you can all help each other out because maybe that person you meet never met someone from your background, and so you always have something to bring to the table, and you never know, y'all might become the best of friends. Right. And that person, maybe a subject that you're not good at, they're probably awesome at, and y'all can just help each other, feed off each other's energy.
Okay, that's excellent. And I'm thinking in terms of when you go into the workforce, that's a reality check, because when you go in the workforce, you will deal with people of all, like I say, nationalities and economical background. What do you, how do you feel about that, Javante?
Well, I mean, I think it's good to know different people of all ethnicities, regardless, because when you grow up and wherever you decide to locate at or wherever you find a job at, you're going to have to be able to get along with everybody, regardless of race, color, size. It don't matter the yellow, purple, blue, green. You're going to have to get along and work toward a goal, because when you're at a job, you're going to have a set goal, and everybody's going to have to work together and achieve that one goal.
Okay, and Brittany, I know, you know, when we were talking about earlier when you came in the studio, the fact that it was really challenging for you, because unlike everyone else in the room, you had some other obstacles you had to overcome, and you want to share that with us?
Well, I started going to tech about January 08 up until, I'd say, about 2009. I got pregnant, and that really just trying to get to classes for me not feeling well, and then that really messed up my GPA because my grades dropped after I got pregnant because I'd feel tired, I wouldn't feel good. And then after I had the baby, I haven't been able to get back in school because it's just hard between working, trying to support him, and then just trying to find time to get up to the school or find a babysitter for him is really hard.
Okay, so, and see, that's, you know, I'm happy that we're having a conversation, and again, the name of the talk show is Sound Off, because a lot of times your voice is not heard. And so, I mean, I commend you the fact that you're trying to get back in school, but realistically, it is tough. And, you know, a lot of times for the younger people coming up, I think your advice would be, if I could do it a little bit differently, not that you don't love your baby, but what would you say about that?
I would have just made different decisions and been smart about what I would have done. I love him to death and wouldn't change him being here for the world, but I would have been smarter about it because I probably would have been almost done with school by now if things would have been different.
Okay, and Angelica, what is your view? Not necessarily, let's talk about, these are good transitions, but what do you think when you go on a college campus? I know a lot of times, you know, you hear all the time, if you don't know who you are, so you began to take on those types of characteristics. So how important is it to know who you are on a college campus? So how important is it to know who you are on a small, medium, or large college campus? I mean, is that important?
It's very important. I believe it's very important because if you don't know who you are before you step on the campus, you'll tend to follow or get into things that are not like you. And once you fall into a type of activity or different people, you tend to follow what they do, and then you forget who you really are, and that tends to block the goal that you had set in mind when you stepped on the campus. So, okay,
I thoroughly important. Do y'all agree with that or disagree?
Yes.
Okay, anybody else want to comment on that?
I mean, I've seen it too many times at the College of Charleston, people get in with the wrong crowd that they didn't hang with when they were in high school, and they think that, oh, now I'm in college, this is the time to reinvent myself, be someone new. I wasn't popular in high school, but I can be popular in college if I just do this, that, and the other. And then they make themselves look stupid because they're out maybe partying all the time and then not going to class, and then next thing you know, this person's not going to be back the next semester because they don't have the tuition money to pay for it.
And you know what? The game has not changed. When I was in college, the same thing. You know, what I like to tell young people is keep the main thing the main thing. Don't major in the minor. Well, my husband told my 18-year-old, if you go to college and major in Party 101, you'll be back home, and your options will be the military. So, and I'm just being quite honest, and I know people might not agree, but you have to make sure that when you go to college, you keep the main thing the main thing. Have fun. Nobody, I believe that everybody that has been to college, have a good time, have fun, but don't get overboard, but don't get carried away with, just making sure that partying and doing the other things take precedence over academics. So, Ruby, yes. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
Ruby brings a totally different perspective. Ruby will be attending college in the fall. So what would you have to ask these wonderful, intelligent people in the studio? Ms. Ruby? Ruby, pronounce your last name again. Ruby.
I'm Ruby Rodriguez.
Yeah, I like that. One more time, Ruby. I like that.
Okay.
basically.
No. I want you to teach me how to do that.
Oh.
Say it again. Say it again. Ruby.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Basically, you know how they say college, you're on your own. And after that, no one, you know how in high school you find that teacher and you're always like cool with that teacher and that teacher helps you out and stuff. And it's always there, you know, like, hooks you up and stuff like, you know, oh, I'm tardy or, you know, what happened? Can I get
Please
a pass?
don't call my name Ruby.
Miss Schofield, can I get a pass, you know? Or like, you know, just, oh, I'm late for class. Oh, you know.
You remember that, Brian?
It's that same as college, like, you know, they just, you know, you find that teacher and you're like really attached to, like during your lunch, you go to that teacher and be like, hey, you know, get a pass from them. Is that the same in college?
Okay, so what you want to ask them?
Yeah, basically,
can you find
you know,
that person?
Can you find that
Okay,
mentor,
that's
you
good.
know, that.
Okay, I think Javante's going to take on that.
Okay, well, when you like first get at school, you definitely have an advisor, so that's pretty much taken care of. And then once you get along with some of your teachers and get to know who they are, some will like count tardies and some won't, because that's how some of my teachers were. But most of the time in college, it's just college, like you said, you're on your own. So if you get to class late, you're just late. If you miss out on a lecture, you miss out on a lecture. It's point blank period. But it's up to you to be there on time. And then once you get to know the teacher and so forth, you will get more comfortable with the teacher and y'all can have that relationship that you're wanting. But that's on you, not everybody in the class or your mom or whatever. It's being independent where, you know, it counts as you get to know the teacher and being able to do what you have to do.
You will definitely be given an advisor based off of like whatever major you wanted when you come into school, and that advisor will help you. Like if you need someone to talk to, they want you to come and talk to them. That's their job. They're there to guide you, especially in your freshman year. They schedule meetings like when you want to plan your classes, they are there for you. And so the advisor will help you if you have any questions whatsoever. If you have a problem, someone keeps messing with you on campus, they will help you with that. And then like Javante said, your professors, they want you to have that connection with them because they look for it. Now, it's more in a smaller class, maybe not like a large class, because most of the time they don't even know like their students' names and stuff. But other than that, they're there to help you. If you have a question, most of the time they have office hours and you can go and talk to them about anything.
Sound Off.
Rated T14.
You have been listening to Sound Off. Now we invite you to join us every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Now if you would like to be part of this program, here's what you have to do. Simply log on to www.98.5kissfm.net.
We have a problem. Disease has occurred amongst our young people. An infection of lust, abuse, molestation, rape, violence, pornography, and suicide. Suicide is the third leading cause of death among young people ages 15 to 24. Of the total number of suicides that occur, 86% are male, 14% are female. In case you don't know, this is a tragedy. Today, young people want to fit in, be heard, be accepted, be loved, be loved. But the world has nothing to offer them unless
it on.
Rated T14.